So if you go to a hairstylist that say you gotta come with your hair already shampooed and blow dried so I can flat iron it, don't put the things of the ratchet on the professional righteous. That's not fair. That's all I gotta say. Hairstylists critiqued for excessive fees, attitude towards customers is what it say. I'm reading it like it said. So let's talk about it. I have not watched this video.
Joining us for the second half of The Factor Uncensored tonight, some women say a trip to the hair salon is becoming a nightmare. Some women say these new age stylists can be a real pain in the ass. There's a long list of complaints from customers, including requirements for some clients to wash, dry, and detangle their own hair before they get to their appointment.
Let's click on that just really quick. So as we watch this video, I'm gonna stop at certain points and I'm gonna explain. Remember when across social media everybody was like, oh, it don't matter, you don't have to have a license, you don't have to have a license to do hair, I don't think cosmetology school matters. Y'all remember that? Be honest, give me a 2 if you remember, because I know you remember because it happened, you said it. A lot of these people that y'all are going to that are even working in hair salons do not have a license. When y'all said that it didn't matter, y'all have to know that depending on your state, so don't get mad, depending on your state, between a licensed braider, a licensed hairstylist, and a licensed cosmetologist. For example, here in Nevada, those are 3 different licenses where a licensed braider cannot shampoo your hair. They cannot do any of those things. So a lot of the stuff that y'all like, oh, these new hair salons are whack. No. It's not cosmetologists. Remember, you guys didn't really care about the licensing. So the majority of people that y'all are going to are licensed braiders, and it is against the law for a braider to wash your hair because legally, scientifically, you have to be trained to break and put back together the bonds that are holding your hair together. So it's not just across the board, oh, hairstylists are like, oh, we hate washing hair now. No, the majority of people that y'all go into are not licensed. So legally, they cannot shampoo your hair. Get into it. So that's why you have to come with your hair already shampooed and blow dried, because they want to work on clean hair, and legally they're not allowed to wash, condition, or blow dry your hair. Factual. But by the way, I'm only a licensed braider, so I'm not licensed or trained to shampoo your hair. I could get in trouble, so you got to do it yourself. They're not saying that. They just saying come with your hair already shampooed and conditioned and blow dried. But legally, they can't. Moving along, guys.
Charges for basic services, high-ass fees for late arrivals to the appointment, and even unprofessionalism. Let's get it here with our guests. We have people who work in the salon industry to strike back. We have Juville Hagens, CC Mason, and Precious Edwards. Also joining us here is salon customer Olivia Lemon. Glad to have you all here on The Factor Uncensored. Loosen up, ladies, loosen up. So Olivia, let's begin with you. When we talk about complaints and problems that you may see with these new age stylists right here, what do you see?
Honestly, I have not seen the best, and I know it may be from some people who are around my age or whatever, but it has not been the best experiences. I've been in experiences where I have got canceled on in front of the hair salon. And that, as women, and I'm sure you guys can all agree, our hair, what we look like on the outside, that means so much to us. So just to be canceled in front of a hair salon, it's not.
Now, how does explain what happened in that situation?
So I got to the salon, was there for my appointment, and received the text, hey, I'm not able to come to the salon. Do you want a refund? So in my head, I'm like, why wouldn't I want a refund for the deposit that you already made me pay? Because we won't even get to the deposits now.
So my question is, and this, I'm going to keep watching, but I just want to know, like, okay, yeah, you was at the shop. And once you got there, she said, hey, I'm not able to do your hair. I'm about to cancel. Do you want your refund? That's just, I mean, obviously you're gonna want the refund, but there are a lot of cases where you'll have clients that are understanding to your everyday circumstances that'll be like, oh girl, don't worry about it, keep it. So it's just kind of like a natural thing to ask for a refund. Maybe she was being ratchet, I don't know her. But it's like, my only thing is, right, like how many times have you as a woman, how many times, the same person who talking, how many times have you went out, right, at night, right? Let's say you went out on a Thursday night and you didn't think it was gonna be that much, and you slept a little too, you went a little too hard. So then you get up in the morning and you don't have anything in you to go to work. You barely can get up and text to say that I can't come. And you will call your boss. You supposed to be at work at 8 o'clock. You will call your boss at like 7:50 and say, hey, I'm so sorry, I'm not gonna make it into work. And then you have sick days and all types of stuff. But I think what women fail to realize is, as a hairstylist, you don't get sick days, right? So just like you call off work, people call off work to get their hair done. So to be so offended by the fact that your hairstylist canceled your appointment is crazy. And it's like, yeah, I know it's a bunch of super duper ratchet hairstylists that cancel appointments all the time. I know that. I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying in general, like, I remember I had my daughter. I was pregnant and I did hair all up until I had my baby with both of my kids. And I remember my fucking water broke. Like pregnant with my son, I'm sorry. I was due April 26th, but my water broke with my son on January 2nd. And I was able to keep him in my body until the 15th. Do y'all know I called my clients? Because first of all, my water broke at like 2 o'clock in the morning. So I'm at the hospital, and when I'm coming to, I remember like with IVs attached to my arms, like all types of stuff they doing to my body. I'm like, oh shit, I gotta work in the morning. I gotta work right now. Can you text my client and tell my client I'm not gonna make it? I'm in the freaking hospital with tubes and everything attached to me. And her response was just like hers, like, oh my god, are you serious? This is my hair. Like, oh my god, are you serious? Nobody care. Okay, you having a baby? That's so unprofessional. You could have told me in advance. Wrote me reviews, all types of shit. And of course, I had to go ahead and cancel all of my appointments for that week, and I was booked for months in advance. So of course I refunded back deposits, but it was just, there was no empathy, no nothing. Of course I had like some clients that was like really understanding, like my regulars that I had for years, but oh baby.
The deposits are now almost as much as what it costs for you to get your hair done, and it kind of ruined my whole day, and I hate that. And I felt like, you know, my hair just wasn't done and I wasn't happy.
All right, Ms. Higgins, let's start with you. Your thoughts on this situation. Do you think customers have a legitimate gripe?
Yes, for new age hairstylists. I'm not a new age hairstylist. I do not require clients to come with their hair washed, or
exactly.
A lot of times I don't even require deposits unless it's a new client. My old clients,
I
don't even use a styling app. My clients text me or email me. So I'm like old school. I wouldn't dare have a client shampoo their hair before they come.
All right, CC. Are you one of those new school?
I agree with her.
Ain't nobody a new school here. Oh, y'all young.
Because the base to a great hairstyle is a clean scalp.
Yes.
And I can't guarantee your hairstyle is going to come out the way that you think that I'm going to do it if I don't
clean
it. I have to get my hands in your head. I can treat it if you have a dandruff issue. That's my way of giving the actual examination of your scalp to see if there's sores, if you have lice, if there's, especially new clients.
Right.
So even if they say, I washed my hair, I shampooed my hair the other day, go to the bowl.
Go to the bowl. Yeah. I like that.
Go ahead.
So I look at it as like a foundation, like building a house.
Yes.
You're not going to just let anybody lay your concrete and then come in and start putting up your wood and your bricks and everything, and then it just all falls apart. So I look at it like that. When a person comes into the salon, I want it from start to finish so that I can know that I gave them the full product of what I'm offering. I want them to have a full experience as well. I mean, I think when you come into the salon, it should be, you know, you're being pampered. You know, like a lot of people come into the salon to get that experience. Yeah, it's a treat to you. I mean, you're paying for a service, and I think that you should get that from start to finish.
But I feel like
Go ahead.
Most clients, that's what they want is the shampoo. That's like the best part of the visit. All of my clients, that's like the number one part of the visit is the shampoo.
That's crazy.
It's almost like relaxation.
Yes.
And even though like I have my own hair care line, like my clients can take home their shampoos and conditioners to do it at home when they're out of town or whatever. But that doesn't mean I want you to use these products before you walk into the salon.
Exactly.
I want you to still come and get that service. This is just for emergencies in case
if you can't get to me, or if I
Now,
can't
have any of you
fit
guys tacked on those extra fees and charges if you're late?
I think that's a big
Some
question.
people abuse it.
Some people abuse their kindness.
I get traffic. I get things happen because it happens to us. Like sometimes I'm stuck in traffic, or something happens with a child, or you have to pick up something on the way. But I'm very, very lenient with it because I know it goes both ways. But don't call me an hour later and say, okay, I'm still coming, I'm on my way.
Now, what happens if a client calls you an hour later? Is there an extra charge,
Yes,
or you say you stay your ass home and get a hot
It depends on how my day's going. Yeah, because sometimes if I'm flowing, I may say, okay, you're good, come on, and I may text them, extra for. But if I'm leaving, then no, you can't come. I have a family. Like,
and if you're scheduled for a service that's going to take 4 to 8 hours, like
no,
What the hell takes 4 to 8 hours?
What time?
Wish this on her head right now.
Absolutely, I don't do that.
So of course I can't start an hour later.
Right.
And you don't have to say it like this, but time is money.
Exactly.
That's it.
I mean, literally, because you have someone else coming after that person, so you can't push that person back. Say if this person has to leave out to get their child or to be somewhere, and then they have an event, and then you want to push them out further and further, and then you're inconveniencing the next person.
And that interferes with your professionalism with your other clients.
And that's where it runs into looking like
Olivia,
we
what do you think you should pay
late.
a late or a tardy fee? Like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour? When should it kick in?
I would say a no-show.
Yes, I would definitely say a no-show, or maybe 30 minutes, because 30 minutes, by that time, your wash is complete. So I would say 30 minutes.
No. See, and this is where we have a problem. So you cute, right? But this is the pet peeve of mine, because my grace period was 5 minutes. 5 minutes. This is the thing. If you book an appointment, right? I was booked out for months in advance. So if you booked this appointment, you've known that you had to be to see me October 2nd at 3 o'clock for 3 months. You've known this. So yeah, 5 minutes may seem like a long time, but peep game. 30 minutes, I can get your hair shampooed and blown out in 30 minutes. So if you're 30 minutes late, 30 minutes, that sets me behind almost 45 minutes for everybody behind you, because if you 30 minutes late, you're not walking right in and sitting right down. You gonna walk in, you want to take off your coat, you want to take off your wig, you want to go to the bathroom, you want to talk, you want to show me pictures. By the time you sit down at the bowl, you not 30 minutes late, you like 45 minutes late. So then that means that if I am going to be over 45 minutes late, because like I said, you're not sitting right down. So let's say you walk in 30 minutes late, but you really like 45 to 50 minutes late, because it'll take about 10 minutes for you to even sit down, right? And so after that, I need you to realize I now have to call everybody on my schedule that day and move them back 45 minutes. Everybody gotta get moved back 45 minutes. My silk presses only take me a little over an hour. So if you 30 minutes late, you've cut into half of your appointment time. And my issue with people is you don't do what I do. So you can't determine, to me, the client should not be asked, what do I think, what you think the grace period should be, because you don't know how long it takes me to do my work. For all of those women that are there, all three of them run their business differently. One is an older woman. She like, oh, I'm old school. My old clients, I don't make them pay deposits. No, ma'am. Like everybody across the board, I do online booking, and my online booking was for tax purposes and all types of stuff. So that way I can still buy a house if I want to. I can still buy a car if I want to. All of those different things. So all of my time is allotted for it. So 30 minutes, my baby, is a long time. I have a 5-minute grace period. You know why? it's not a problem of me asking something of you that you know that you're gonna get from me. There's not one, I have never got a review where, oh, I'm late. Never. There's never been a time in all 16 years that I was behind a chair, there was never a time where anybody could say, oh, I waited for Sam for an hour, or I waited for Sam for 2 hours. She wasn't ready for me when I came. Never. I was always ready for them when they came out. You know why? And then most of the time my clients were always walking past each other, because I knew that it only took me about an hour and a half, a little over an hour to do their hair, depending on what their texture was. I had an online booking system where they told me of whether or not their hair was thin, medium, or thick, not so I could charge them extra, but so I could know for time purposes, right? So I had my schedule broken down to the T, so you don't get to decide, oh, I'm gonna be 30 minutes late, oh, I'm gonna be 20 minutes late. It don't work like that. So that's one of the problems. It's like we can't complain about hairstylists being behind because y'all been late for years. The only reason hairstylists take deposits now is because women do no call, no shows. Like, I remember when I first started doing hair, like before I was on social media, before anybody knew who I was, oh my God, like at the beginning, I would have days where I had like 8 people on my books and everybody stood me up or called at the last minute and was like, oh, I'm not gonna be able to come, I'm not gonna be able to make it. And after the 3rd or 4th month of me scraping at the end of the week trying to make up my booth rent because everybody's standing me up or paying me with checks and asking me not to cash them until the end of the month and all of that shit, like, it's like, okay, I have to protect myself. I have to start taking deposits or I'm gonna lose my mind. Like, I'm gonna go crazy. Let's finish the video, then I'll do my commentary. As you can tell, it's like a soft spot. I said I was gonna try to be neutral, but obviously that's not going.
Another thing, and I want to see what y'all think about this. I know us as customers have to, you know, pay late fees, but what about if that stylist is late?
Then they should get a discount or get some type of complimentary service.
Some type of compensation. Like maybe I can throw in a deep conditioner, or I'll throw in an extra treatment, or I'll trim your hairs apart. You know, something to show that, you know.
But the hairstylist is human, and most of the time
fees are new.
Sorry, like most of the time, if there are dusty ratchet hairstylists. There are dusty ratchet hairstylists that's late eating chicken, got their boyfriends coming and you holding their baby while. I ain't talking about them. I'm talking about like the ones here. If the majority of y'all, for example, if you are the same girl who asked them the question, and I ain't saying the girl, I don't know you girl, I don't know her, this ain't. But the same girl who's asking the question is saying, oh, she thinks it's okay to be at least 30 minutes late, right? You think 30 minutes is okay. You could be late 30 minutes. Do you understand that you being late 30 minutes is enough to throw your clients, your hairstylist day off for the entire day? So you just said out of your mouth, you think 30 minutes is okay, but guess what? On the day that a stylist said, hey, you gonna have to come another day, I can't do your hair, was most likely a day that there were multiple women who think like you. There were multiple women who were like, oh, 30 minutes is okay. So after 2 to 3 people are 30 minutes late, that means you have to move multiple people's day back. Instead of just 45 minutes, multiply 45 minutes times 3, or however many people were late that day. And the majority of women who get their hair done think like you do. They think like 30 minutes is not a long time. So after 3 people, all you need is 2 people. All you need is 2 people, really 1 person. All you need is 1 person to be an hour late and still take them to mess up your entire day. If I have to pick up my daughter from school by 3 o'clock and I have a certain amount of people on my schedule and my very first client was 30 minutes late and I still took her, I am now behind over an hour for every other person. So the very last person in that day is not gonna get her hair done. You know why? I now have lost over an hour just because of that 1 person that was only 30 minutes late, right? Because of that 1 person that was 30 minutes late, I now have to move everybody back. So now that everybody's been moved back, that last person, you've been moved back an hour. So if your appointment was at 3 o'clock and my 7 o'clock was 30 minutes late, my baby, that means that now I'm behind over 2 hours. So by the time I get to you, I'm not gonna be able to do your hair at 2 or 3 o'clock. I'm gonna be doing your hair at 4, and your appointment is gonna take 2 hours. So instead of me being out of here in enough time to pick up my daughter, I'm going to be doing your hair. So at that point, it is between me doing your hair and making sure you cute, feeling pretty, and me picking my daughter up from school. That is the situation that hairstylists are in. We not just like, oh, I'm late, come on. No, that be y'all. Okay, that be y'all. And these hairstylists that's on here are keeping it cute because they on TV. They're keeping it cute. But the only reason that these clients, the stylists that are on here, are taking deposits is because of the way that people cancel, right? And the woman who isn't, she old school. She don't do online booking.
New age stylists tacking on that we may not know about as old schoolers.
Well, I know that within the last year, I've incorporated deposits for new people, because they will schedule you for a service that's going to take a couple of hours, and you've blocked that off. You've told people, hey, I'm booked for that day, and they will no show.
That's right.
And so, of course, even if it's just a $25 to whatever they choose their deposit to be, you've gotten something for your time. Because I can reach out to my clients, hey, you asked about it, I'm free now. They may come, some may come. Okay, I'm on my way. But then sometimes you're just sitting in the salon waiting for a walk-in to fill in your time.
You could be doing something else.
Something like color, because I have to go purchase, and color's not cheap. So yes, I need a deposit because I have to spend my money in order for you to come and get that service.
I just went out, you booked the color appointment, and let's say you like, okay, I colored my hair black and now I want to go honey blonde. I gotta go spend about almost $200 on just the stuff to lift the pigment out of your hair and put the color back. So if you no show, I just spent $100 on some color that I don't even need. Yeah, you're gonna be paying for it.
All right. Well, thank you, ladies. Old school.
We are.
New school customer complaining.
Exactly. See, that's what I'm talking about. And I like how he ended it, because he was like, new school customer complaining down there, and she cool. Like, she was, I don't know, I don't have nothing to do with that. But all I will say is this: I remember when everything first started off, I told y'all that y'all was going to be in this position. I told y'all that y'all would need to learn the science of hair because of the way, and we ain't going into that because that was so 2022. Like, you guys really let YouTubers make you believe that hairstylists were evil, hairstylists were bad, and that a cosmetology license didn't matter, right? There was no respect around it. Oh my God, I keep hiccuping. So for that reason, we had an outlandish amount of people who were self-proclaimed hairstylists, self-proclaimed braiders, self-taught. Remember that? Like, I remember 2019 or 2018, it was like all over. It was like everybody's favorite hashtag, favorite description, hashtag self-taught hairstylist. So this is why you guys really need to learn the science of hair, so y'all can pay attention and learn the difference between a licensed cosmetologist and a hairstylist, or a licensed cosmetologist and a braider, or a licensed cosmetologist and somebody who's just playing in hair, right? And I'm not trying to crap on braiders, because braiders are super dope, but there are a lot of women posing as cosmetologists, but really they're licensed braiders. And basically, at least in the state of Nevada, getting a braider's license is like getting a health card. Like, they make you watch a video and then you answer questions. It's about sanitation. It doesn't really have anything to do with the science of hair. It's about sanitation, making sure like you're not getting any infections or anything like that when you are getting your hair done. So the main reasons that I didn't really want to do hair no more is just because of the way, the lack of respect that people do have for the industry. But I will say this: is you can't fault one group more than the other. You can't fault the customer and you can't fault the professional, because in my opinion, this is just my opinion. Obviously, if you hear and you're watching this video and you made it to this point, you care about what my opinion is. But I just feel like the fault falls on actual professional cosmetologists, because there are so many professional cosmetologists that don't stay true. And this is what I mean by that. Like, there are a whole bunch of cosmetologists, and I feel like most of the women that were in that video are the type of cosmetologists. I'm talking about the ones that are like, I'm not folding. I don't care how much rice water, how popular rice water gets. I don't care how popular wash and goes get. I'm not getting on that. I'm sticking to science. Well, the majority of cosmetologists didn't do that. The majority of cosmetologists, well, I don't even want to say the majority. I'm gonna say about 30%. I feel like about 30% of cosmetologists ended up doing that. That 30% ended up going ahead and being like, you know what? Y'all, we gonna feed into that. Y'all want a little wash and go, you want a little rice water. Even like now with the Gina Curl thing, right? For that, there are licensed, black licensed cosmetologists doing that. They're not doing it because, oh, Gina Curl is so amazing, it's so bomb, it's so different. No, they doing it because they standing behind the chair for 12 hours a day, and not even making what the Gina Curl is charging. You know what I mean? Like, not even making half of what the Gina Curl is charging all day. So they like, you know what, if black women are willing to pay this money because they believe this, like, all right, let's do it. So they getting their money like that. So for me, it's all a matter of like you learning the science of hair and you knowing the difference between a real life cosmetologist and somebody who is really, really focused on the science of hair, your hair growth, your hair care regimen, and somebody who's not. Because like he asked the question like, okay, what do you think about deposits? Like, yeah, you got some. To me, that'll be the difference between a real life professional cosmetologist that's only taking the deposits to protect herself and her business, or one that don't know what she's doing and she just watches what professional cosmetologists do and copy it. Because there have been so many times, like I've had clients that I've had for years that are never late, and then one time they'll pop up, even though I had a 5-minute grace period. If they call me in enough time and they tell me, then we work it out. Like, I'll either tell them, okay, I won't be able to do it today, which is what would most of the time happen. Like, okay, well, I don't have any other availability today, but let's do it this day, right? Like, we could work stuff out. So I feel like that is one of the main problems, because it's a lot of confusion. Because on one side you have cosmetologists that are like standing true to stuff, and then you have girls playing in hair over there. And for me, I feel like it's the women that are playing in hair that are the ones that are really, really unreasonable. I don't believe that it is the licensed cosmetologists who really went to cosmetology school that are charging all outrageous stuff, because most of that happen like with the love and hip hop stuff and all of that. The majority of these women that do lace frontals and all of that do not have cosmetology licenses. Like, most of y'all favorite people that y'all follow on YouTube, I can count, like I can name a couple off the top, like without even using all my fingers, how many are actually licensed, right? Whether it's a licensed hairstylist, a licensed braider, or a licensed cosmetologist, the majority of people that y'all learn for do not have a license. So it makes you confused. It makes you believe that you can just pick any and everybody. But at the end of the day, it's all a matter of what professional you go to and what type of client you are. Because for me, it's crazy to me that we think that we can determine what the deposit should be, where you go into a doctor's office and if you late, even though you know for a fact, no matter how early you are to the doctor's office, you still gonna be waiting. Even if you late to the doctor's office, you still gonna be waiting. But they will cancel your freaking appointment if they call your name and you're not there. They will cancel your appointment and they'll still bill your insurance. You not complaining to them. You not calling the doctor out of their name. You like, damn, you gonna take that L and then you're gonna schedule another appointment. Or you're gonna find another doctor and you'll schedule another appointment. You ain't like, you old dusty ass doctor with your old funky ass. I just feel like none of y'all are going to the doctors and be like, okay, so you did that copay, but I just feel like you be late, and because you late, I shouldn't have to pay. No, you have respect for them, so whether they late or not, you're gonna pay full price without any question. So the question now becomes like, what is the difference, right? Because yeah, And I'm not saying that anybody's right. I'm asking a question, like, what is the difference? And I want y'all to answer it in the comments between like what y'all do at the doctor's office and what you do at the hair salon. Like, what is the difference? And there's a difference between a braider and a cosmetologist. There's a difference. So if I want y'all to take note, the next time somebody asks you, like, oh, tell you gotta come with your hair braided and with your hair already shampooed and blow dried, listen, every girl that I ain't gonna say her name, I ain't gonna say nobody's name because I like her. Every hairstylist that's on social media, that's even on YouTube, they be like, oh, you gotta come with your hair braided. When I talk to them, they're not licensed hairstylists or cosmetologists. They're licensed braiders. I straight up asked, they're like, I can't legally, I'm not allowed to shampoo and blow dry hair. But they're not gonna tell you that. You know why? Because technically they're not licensed to color your hair, or not color, they not licensed to color your bundles and you paying them to color them bundles. They not licensed to do a whole bunch of stuff that they're doing. They're not licensed to be flat ironing your hair. A braider is not licensed to use a flat iron, to use hot tools, depending on the state, right? So these are things that y'all all need to think about. Like, all hairstylists are not created equally, and just because somebody can braid, just because somebody's good with a blow dryer, does not mean that they're a professional hairstylist. And if you're going to hairstylists that don't shampoo and blow dry hair, they're not a cosmetologist. Like, pay attention. Like, look back and look at the faces of those women when he asked them if whether or not they blow dry hair, or whether or not if their clients can come with wet hair. They was looking like, ugh, what? And they said the same thing I always say, which is, if I'm gonna be doing your hair, I need to do your hair. I need to do your hair from beginning to end. The other thing that she said, because like I said, I'm not making none of this up. This is all science. And the women that he had on this panel, I'm so glad it was them and not Stylists and them, because those are all cosmetologists. She said it's deeper than that. I'm not just randomly washing your hair. I'm assessing your scalp. I'm treating your dandruff. I'm doing all of these different things because as a licensed cosmetologist, I'm a scientist, and I need to be able to see your scalp. I need to be able to access your hair to see what I need to do, because it's not as simple as just slapping a hair product on. So if you go to a hairstylist that say you gotta come with your hair already shampooed and blow dry so I can flat iron it, don't put that on every cosmetologist around the world, Craig, not just the city, the world, because guaranteed the girls that are doing that are not licensed cosmetologists. They're not. So that's not fair. Don't put the things of the ratchet on the professional righteous. That's not fair. That's all I gotta say. Like I said that I was gonna remain neutral, but the more I talk, I could feel myself leaning more to the hairstylist side. But I'm loyal. Like, okay, it ain't a shiesty bone in my body, and I'm loyal to the hair industry, and it's not our fault. Like, y'all let these people with no licenses come through and play in y'all hair. Now y'all sick of them playing in y'all hair. And a lot of professional cosmetologists like myself, like, I stepped away from the industry and let y'all have them. I let y'all have them. Like, I stepped away like 6 years ago and was like, I'm not competing with girls who ain't never been to cosmetology school. Like, I'm not about to do it. I'm not about to do it. So I decided to go down the science route, right? And mind you, I've been from behind the chair for 6 years. So it's taken 6 years for y'all to see what I was saying. So just imagine, like, if I would have stayed behind the chair for 6 years, it would have, like, oh my God, y'all would have just now been seeing what I've been trying to tell y'all all this whole time.